How did the power of you come to you, and what got you interested in this project?
Well, this is something that I wrote a few years
Oh.
back.
Mm.
I've been a filmmaker my whole life, so I'm always interested in just what's going on in the world. And when the idea came up to tell a story in a nonlinear fashion, I built this script around that idea. When I got it in front of Koryanka Kilcher a few years back, and she responded to it, it started to become a reality. And so we took some years to develop it, get it put together, and last year we crossed a big hurdle and were able to go into production, and now we have a film.
Mm. And could you say a little about what the story is about?
The Power of Few is a action crime drama. It revolves around a covert smuggling operation, and our story takes place in 20 minutes on one day. And it's experienced through the perspectives of 5 unique characters who continually cross paths, unaware that they're part of a mystery that's going on around them.
And from what I read, it sounds a little like Rashomon. Everyone has a different story about what's going on.
It is. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Rashomon, The Killing, Pulp Fiction, Memento. Nonlinear storytelling is a big influence and inspiration for this kind of a story.
Now, talk about the choice and significance of the title, The Power of Few.
Now, that one is probably going to be reserved for the viewing. There's something special about the title that becomes revealed in the story. And, there is, the one thing I do say about the title is sometimes it comes off the tongue as The Power of You or The Power of View. The Power of Few. It's certainly been received as a unique title, but when I hear people say The Power of You, are you talking about you or view? Normally, I guess people could, somebody would get upset about that, but for me, because some of our themes work down into that direction, I'm totally fine with that. And
however, if it's translated into other languages for other countries, that might change a bit.
This is true. This is true. I'll have to look into that.
And what was it like collaborating with an amazing person like Koryanka as an actress and also a co-producer with The Power of Few?
Well, Q is amazing. She is wise beyond her years.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're talking to such a young kid.
Right.
And when we did first connect, it was clear that this was something that she was into, and I have been a big fan of hers for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And, we took a no restrictions approach to everything about this. The script was there, but when it came to really collaborating on what could be done in terms of rounding up a great cast, because this wasn't something that she could just dive into and be the lead of, and following her role in the New World in Pocahontas, it was a risk for her to take on something where she's going to be a character who shows up for 20 minutes, and who else are we going to cast in this film? So, she was active and really incredible to work with in getting a cast built up, which ended up being an incredible ensemble cast.
This is your first big project, isn't it?
This is.
Yeah. So what was it like being the director and, in essence, the boss over some pretty tough and wild veteran actors like Christopher Walken and Christian Slater, and were you at all intimidated by them?
There's always a level of respect that exists. And I think intimidation, that thought of it, really just gets shifted into respect and really just quietly being in awe of what they do. I had a lot of meetings from phone calls where I met Christopher Walken over the phone, and the first, experience was dealing with his voice only.
Yeah.
That famous voice he has. So we had some early morning phone calls when he first got his hands on the project, and from there we had some sit-downs, and I was able to convince them or show them that I had a command of what we were doing, and, instill the confidence at every turn that, this is a unique script, it's a unique structure, it's a unique approach to filmmaking, and they were on board, and as soon as they're on board, then you're working with another artist, you're collaborating, and you're creating.
Leon, what was it like filming in New Orleans, a community that has been emerging from a terrible environmental disaster and hopefully won't be facing a new one with all these floods materializing in the region?
It's incredible. I looked for a long time at where to film this, looked at a lot of different states and cities, and my script was originally written for really any town. It centers on an intersection in which all these characters ultimately converge. And I searched all over. I did a lot of searching on Google Maps. My production designer said, take a look at this neighborhood in New Orleans. You might like this. And so my first location scout was actually from the computer, where I sat down and took the virtual tour and looked at every intersection around the city and just circled with the camera. And, the next thing I did was drive across the country, got there, went down to that intersection, and with my camera, it was like 15 degrees, and I just snapped away at these buildings and the texture that's already there. When I got to New Orleans, it just all kind of clicked. This is a city that's been through one disaster after another, but they continue to blow their horns. They continue to celebrate, and that kind of spirit ties into what we're doing thematically with this project. And such a unique town, the energy and the spirit of that town is just it comes alive through the lens. When you could set your camera up and see New Orleans in your frame, you just get something special. And the people down there, there's an enthusiasm for film and independent film there that is it's so contagious. Just to see the excitement on the local businessmen and the town, they're welcoming. They've got open arms to film and the film community. And so it was quite an experience.
Now, did the community become at all involved in the filmmaking?
We did some things in pre-production and beforehand in prepping this film where we reached out and wanted to get people involved and did. From a casting contest that we ran to some outreach we did in the community and say, hey, here's a film coming to town. We want you to be part of it. We're not just showing up and going to take over your town with our cameras and trucks to film. We want you to come out and be part of it. And so we opened up our website for people to sign up, send us their resume, send us their headshots, and we found a handful of kids that way. Just being on the ground there in pre-production, we were led to the Volunteers of America, and they have a drama club, but they were so enthusiastic to get their kids involved. And so we brought them on set, and it just created an experience not only for them, but for us, to get with the locals and know who they were and show them a little of Hollywood and what goes on a feature film and all the opportunities that really are there, job-wise and skills and craft-wise.
Now, describe a little this unique and innovative audience interactive film project and why that idea inspired you with this film.
The project as a whole is about perspective. In our story, we have 5 unique characters who are all circling around the center of the story, and we thought, well, how could we, in the spirit of the story, open it up to another perspective, and that being the worldwide audience. And so when the technology became real and the ability to do this, we said this is the perfect project to tie this into. When I was a kid, I sat in Ohio and I didn't have this kind of opportunity to connect and get involved. And so we've created that, and you could go to our site at thepoweroffew.com and you could log in, create a user account, and you can access a video editor where we have all of the clips that we shot on location that make up Scene 64. We want you to put it together. We want you to edit it and make it to your vision. You could download the script and read how the scene is supposed to unfold, put your cut together, and post it after June 21st to be in the contest. We're going to take the best cut, and we're going to put it in the film, and your name is going to go in the front-end credits. So anybody who is interested in film, head to the site and get started. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Yeah, well, sounds exciting, and I'll certainly get the word out.
Prairie, thank you so much.
And
it was
good
great
luck.
to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye.